If you're a content creator making any money at all through brand deals, ad revenue, freelance work, or UGC, you've probably asked yourself this question: do I need an LLC? And if you've Googled it, you've probably gotten 10 different answers. Some people say you need one immediately. Some will say that it's a waste of money, and still others will say just be a sole proprietor. And none of them explain what any of it actually means. So today I'm going to break down all of it: what an LLC is, whether you may need one, what the other options are, how much it costs, and the biggest mistake creators make when setting up their business. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do. A quick note before we dive in: I'm sharing legal information, not legal advice. Every situation is different, and if you're making significant income, talk to a professional, preferably a lawyer, about your specific circumstances. That being said, let's get you informed so you know the right questions to ask. Here's something most creators don't realize. The moment you earn your first dollar from content, whether it was a brand deal, an AdSense payment, or someone paying you to create a UGC video, you became a business in the eyes of tax law. You might not feel like a business. Maybe you don't have a logo on a building, but legally you're operating as a sole proprietorship right now, whether you set one up or not. And that matters because of one word: liability. As a sole proprietor, there's no legal separation between you and your business. If someone sues you, they're suing you personally. Your personal bank account, your car, your savings, all of it is on the table. Now, is someone going to sue you because you made a TikTok? Probably not. But the bigger you get, the more money you make, the more brand deals you sign, and the more risk you carry. And that's where business structures come in. There are 3 business structures that matter for creators, musicians, artists, and athletes. I'm going to explain each one and tell you who it's best for. The first one is a sole proprietorship. This is what you already are if you haven't set anything up. It's the simplest structure. There's no paperwork to file, no formation cost, and you report your business income typically on your personal tax return using a Schedule C if you're filing with the IRS. The upside is simplicity, but the downside is zero liability protection. Your business and personal life are legally the same thing. Who is this right for? If you're brand new, making less than a few $100s a month, just testing the waters of content creation, sole proprietorship is probably fine for now. But the moment your income grows or you start signing contracts with brand deals, you should be thinking about the next level. The second business structure is an LLC, limited liability company. This is the one everyone asks about, and for most creators, this is the answer. An LLC creates a legal wall between your personal assets and your business. If someone sues your business, your personal bank account and your house are protected. You still report income on your personal tax return if you're filing with the IRS, but you get that liability shield. Setting up an LLC is not typically complicated. File articles of organization with your location, pay a filing fee, usually somewhere between $50 and $500 depending on where you're located, and you're done. Some places have additional annual fees, so check your specific location requirements. The other thing an LLC does is it makes you look professional. When you're negotiating brand deals, having an LLC shows you're a real business, not someone running a hobby. Brands and sponsors will take you more seriously for this, and it makes invoicing, contracts, and payments cleaner because everything runs through the business, not through your personal name. The third business structure that content creators should be aware of is the S-Corporation. This is where people's eyes typically start to glaze over, but I'm going to make it simple. An S-Corp isn't technically a separate structure. It's a tax election. You can have an LLC and taxed as an S-Corp. Why would you do this? Because once you're making significant income, it can save you a lot on self-employment taxes. Here's the quick version. As a sole proprietor or standard LLC, you pay self-employment tax on all your profit, on top of your income tax. With an S-Corp election, you pay yourself a reasonable salary and only pay self-employment on that salary. Any profit above your salary is only subject to income tax, not the additional self-employment tax. The general rule of thumb is this starts to make financial sense when you're earning around 50 to 60,000 in annual profits from your content creator business. But, and this is an important but, an S-Corp comes with more administrative work. You have to run payroll for yourself, file additional tax forms, and the tax people pay attention to whether your salary is actually reasonable. This is where you really should be working with an accountant. If I were going to set up an LLC as a creator, here are the steps that I personally would take, keeping in mind that this is not legal advice. So when do you actually set up an LLC? Let me give you clear threshold ideas instead of vague concepts. If you're making less than $500 a month from content, a sole proprietorship is probably fine. Focus on growing your income first. If you're making $500 to $2,000 a month, it's time to seriously consider an LLC. You're starting to sign contracts, send invoices, and carry enough financial activity that liability protection probably matters. If you're making over $2,000 a month consistently, you should have an LLC. The cost of forming one is low when compared to the risk of operating without it. And if you're making over $5,000 a month in profit, talk to an accountant about the S-Corp election. The tax savings could be thousands of dollars a year depending on your income. All right, let's say you're ready to set up your LLC. Here is exactly what you should do step by step. Step 1, choose your location. Most creators should form their LLC in the place where they live. The state or province. You might have heard that some places such as Delaware or Wyoming are better for LLCs, and for large companies that's sometimes true, but for sole creator, forming in your home location is simpler and cheaper because you won't have to register as a foreign LLC in your home jurisdiction on top of the filing. Step 2, choose your name. Probably the fun part. Your LLC name doesn't have to match your brand or channel name. Your LLC is the legal entity. Your channel name is your brand. LLC does need to include LLC or limited liability company in the name, and it can't be the same as an existing business in your area. So make sure to check your government business registry website to search available names. Step 3, file articles of organization. This is the official form that creates your LLC. You file it with your government office, usually online. The fee varies by location, as low as $50 in some places and up to $500 in others. This takes about 15 to 30 minutes to fill out. Step 4, get a tax number or employer number for your LLC. This is free from the IRS or CRA, and it takes about 5 minutes. You'll need this for opening a business bank account and for filing your taxes. Step 5, open a business bank account. This is the step most people skip, and honestly, it might be the most important. The whole point of an LLC is separating your business from your personal life. If you're running all your income through your personal checking account, you're undermining that separation. Open a dedicated business account and run all of your creator income and expenses through that. Step 6, write an operating agreement. Even if you're a single member LLC, which most solo creators are, you should have an operating agreement. This is a document that outlines how your business operates, who owns it, how decisions are made, what happens if you bring on a partner. Some jurisdictions require this, but others don't. But having one strengthens your legal protection and shows you're treating your LLC like a real business. Before you go file your LLC, let me save you from 3 big mistakes that creators make. Mistake 1, mixing personal and business money. If you form an LLC but keep depositing brand deal checks into your personal account and paying for equipment with your personal card, you're defeating the entire purpose. This is called piercing the corporate veil, and it means a court could ignore your LLC's liability protection entirely. Keep your money separate, always. Mistake 2, paying too much for the formation. There are companies that charge up to $1,000 to help you form an LLC. In most places, you can do it yourself online in under an hour for the filing fee only. If you want help, you can and maybe should hire a lawyer, which is beneficial because it establishes a relationship. But you can also use services like LegalZoom or Zen Business that can walk you through the process for under $100. Decide which works best for you. Mistake 3, Forgetting about annual filing requirements. Most jurisdictions require LLCs to file an annual report and pay an annual fee to stay in good standing. If you miss this, your LLC can be dissolved, which means your liability protection would disappear and maybe you wouldn't even know it. Set a calendar reminder every year for this filing. Here's the bottom line. If you're making money as a creator, you're running a business, and running a business without protecting yourself is a risk that you don't need to take. An LLC is affordable, it's straightforward to set up, and it gives you the foundation to operate like the professional that you are. Don't let the legal stuff intimidate you. That's really why this channel exists, to make it simple enough that you can take action and move forward with building your personal brand as a creator, artist, musician, or athlete. If this was helpful for you, please subscribe. I post every week about creator rights, contracts, and the legal side of building a business as a musician, a content creator, a talented individual. I'm Stevie. This is Girl Code of Law. I'll see you next week.